Today on Decoding Seafood by MOWI, we're taking a sweet detour into the world of salmon with someone who's made a name turning French macarons into colorful, all-American treats. Dana Pollack, founder of Dana's Bakery, traded piping bags for hairnets when she toured MOWI's fresh salmon facility in Miami. She saw precision, freshness, and craftsmanship that might just rival her own bakery kitchens. We'll ask her about that later on. But we'll also talk about what she learned, what surprised her, and how it's influencing the way she thinks about food, both sweet and savory, of course. So stick around, more from Dana Pollack's Miami seafood adventure after the break.
We are bombarded with contradictory information from unreliable sources. Who can you trust? With the new Decoding Seafood Podcast, you can dive into the depths of one of the most trendy but also misunderstood food options. Learn from the perspectives of seafood experts, foodies, chefs, pop culture influencers, scientists, and more about the bounties of eating blue foods from our oceans. Decoding Seafood demystifies each layer of seafood so you can separate fact, fiction, and opinion for yourself. With oceans making up 70% of our planet, you can feel good about eating more blue foods and join the Blue Revolution. Subscribe to Decoding Seafood today, brought to you by MOWI.
Joining me now is the woman behind rainbow-colored macarons, or mookies, and someone who's a serious entrepreneur in all this, Dana Pollack. Welcome to Decoding Seafood.
Thank you for having me.
And how did you end up here baking?
If you follow me, you know that salmon has been a part of my life for a very long time. I know I own a bakery, but I have 2 young kids. I cook all the time. They're very involved with me in the kitchen. So salmon being one of the main protein sources that they'll eat, we eat a lot of it. And so I've been preparing salmon for a very long time, but I had never gotten to see kind of behind the curtain to see what actually goes into from, the beginning to when you see it or you buy it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Or in the store
Yeah.
or online or wherever you buy it.
Yeah.
So,
Where are you from?
so I hail from New Jersey. I was born and bred in New Jersey, and I lived in New York City for many, many years. And in my old life, I used to be a photo editor. I went to school for photography, worked in the industry for 15 years, and then I just wasn't doing it for me. I had always had a passion for baking, and I've always loved food and kind of putting my spin on things. And I was sitting in my cubicle at Muscle and Fitness magazine, was the last publication where I was before I, ventured into my new life. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? Is this really it? I was in my cubicle looking at a photo of a man in Speedo from one of my photo shoots, and I was like, that's it. Something's got to change.
Wait, really? Seriously?
Literally, that's what happened. I remember being in my cubicle, and it was the Speedo, and there was like back knee and all this stuff. And I was like, I got to get out of here. It was fun while it lasted. I have great stories, but it wasn't my calling.
Yeah.
And I had always really been passionate about food. So I said, what can I do to turn this passion into not just a hobby, but like my life? And so that's kind of how the idea sparked.
You hear a lot of stories of people in the corporate world who say, I'm done, the pressure, this is not for me. And then they go into the culinary arts to a certain extent, getting a taco truck or opening up a bakery in your case. That's a crazy transition. I always look at those people and I say, how did you start in that realm of corporate?
So different.
Yeah, it's so different. What did you always bake? Like, where did that passion come from?
So I'd always baked. I've always entertained. I would always show people that I cared about them by baking them something. It was a comfort thing for me. When I'd be really stressed, I'd go home and I would cook or I would bake. So I've always loved to do that, and I would always think outside the box. I would always put my own spin on classic desserts. Even if I wasn't creating my own recipe, I was somehow making it my own. And that's really how the concept of Dana's Bakery started. I had quit my job. I enrolled in culinary school because I know me, and I knew that if I was just baking cupcakes out of my house, I would end up not taking it as seriously as I wanted it to. So I really wanted to immerse myself in the culture and learn everything that I could learn. Knife skills, learn different types of cuisine. So when I was in culinary school, I found a pastry chef to take me under his wing and really taught me everything. I learned about service and prep and all of these different things. And so I'd be in school from like 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. And then on nights and weekends, I was in culinary school. But in culinary school, I learned that I didn't want to work in restaurants. I had already done my time. I had gone to school for photo. I had worked as a photo editor and worked my way up the ranks.
The pressure
over a
was
decade.
not worth it. Yeah.
It was not what I wanted to do. So I was like, how can I take my skills and do something that's going to be better for my lifestyle? And so I decided to open up Dana's Bakery towards the end of my culinary time at school. I went to ICE, Institute of Culinary Education in the city. And towards the end of my training, I realized that there was a missing market for French macaroons. So they were just becoming more popular, and if you lived in a major city, you knew about them, but it was the same flavors. It was lavender, rose, pistachio, and like me, I was like, well, listen, how come people aren't making them in flavors that we love to eat, like as an American? It's red velvet, birthday cake, s'mores, and I grew up eating those nostalgic flavors. But they didn't come in them, and I don't like to eat lavender. I like to take a bath in lavender salts, but I don't like to eat lavender. It's very soapy to me. Rose, same thing. So I saw that there was something missing in the market, and I said, that's what I'm going to do.
I'm going to tell you a story. I brought macarons from La Durée when I was living in France. And I remember I went early in the morning, picked up the first batch of macarons from La Durée, which, by the way, each one costs like €5, €5, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Got it over on the flight, Air France, landed in Boston, took it home, and I said, these are macarons. You have to taste them. They just came out fresh. And my brother, popping them in his mouth like they're peanut M&Ms.
Right,
like,
he doesn't even realize. It's like $50 down the hatch in 2 minutes.
So if you have a good macaron, people, please, take a dainty bite. You make sure your
Enjoy
pinky,
it.
the pinky
Savor
has
it.
to stick out too.
Pinky has to be out.
Yeah, and just have little dainty bites.
I
And
agree.
this is not, your Lucky Charms that you're popping in your mouth.
No, those are good too.
Yeah, those are good too.
We
But
did a
those
Lucky
you can
Charms flavor.
Okay, so I want to talk about the flavors of your macarons. What is the big ones, the ones that everybody's like, oh my God, look at this flavor. The ones that shocked you most that you were like, so good.
Sure. So we do a lot of fun flavors in that regard. So some of our tried and true flavors that Dana's Bakery has is we've had red velvet for a very long time, chocolate molten, birthday cake, s'mores. We do a really great fruity cereal macaroon.
And then you created this thing called a mookie, which is a macaron cookie, like
macaroon baked inside a cookie.
a macaron baked inside a cookie. So you have the dough, and then you put a macaron in there, and then you just bake it, and then when you bite into it, you have the dough on the outside, and so you have maybe a contrast of flavors. So you would do
So it depends. Yeah, it depends, and we do a lot of things now besides the mookies. We do stuffed cookies.
Yeah. How many macarons do you taste per day?
Well, I taste a lot of things, not just macaroons. So I'm eating all day long.
Yeah. So what's in the repertoire? What else do you have besides macarons on the baking side?
So Dana's Bakery is known for the macaroons, and everything is gluten-free. We expanded to our black and white cookies. So we first did the rainbow black and white cookie because I will not do anything just the way everyone else does it. We also started making crisp bars. I can't call them Rice Krispie treats, but they're crisp bars. And we have cookies and cream.
And they're gluten-free, the ones that you make.
Strawberry shortcake. We do a brown butter one, which is my favorite. But Rice Krispie treats, no one sells them the way that I like them. It is the perfect ratio of marshmallow to cereal.
Yes.
There's chunks of marshmallow. It's browned butter. It's just these little things that take it from a very average, not spectacular or standout treat to something that you're like, oh my God, like your eyes roll back.
I'm going to sell you $1 million idea here. Ready? For the Rice Krispie treats?
I can't wait. Bring it on.
It's
I'll
literally...
call it the George.
Yeah, no, just call it what you want to. It's literally a wooden spoon that has chunks of Rice Krispie on it, and you sell the wooden spoon, but it has Rice Krispie because that is the best part.
Licking the spoon.
Yeah, just chewing off the sticky stuff off of it, and that's all you sell is literally wooden spoons. Just the spoons with the Rice Krispies stuck on it already. Open the package.
That'd be a no-brainer.
There's your $1 million idea right there.
Them.
All right, and give me a portion, whatever you want to do. And of course, you're gonna have to buy spoons.
I know. I think I know a place.
Yeah. It sounds like you have a massive facility here. You employ how many people about?
We have around 140 employees.
That's insane. How did it
Might
start?
go up a little bit during the holidays.
What did it start at about on average?
1, 2. And then it was 15, and
so
then
how
20.
do you deal with 140 people? You can't possibly oversee everything. So you start hiring people to do like logistics, research, the lab stuff that you have to do. And
There's a lot of, you have compliance managers, you have production managers.
How did you learn this in your previous industry? How did you learn this? Did you have to go to like business administration school?
So to go full circle, when I was in culinary school and I decided to do this, you don't know. I never went to school for business. It was me, and my mom helped me form my LLC. And I started online because I did not have investors or partners, and I didn't have the money for a brick and mortar, but I had a background in photo. So what I did was I had a friend build my website, and we shot my photos, and I put it up online. And because of social media and the way that I photographed my food, people who didn't know what a macaroon was loved the way that they looked, because I shot them like a sexy still life, like a bottle of perfume, not the same soft, out of focus, pastel, macaroons that you were used to seeing everywhere. It was the same thing. People were shooting them and showing them the way that they were making them with the same flavors. Like, it doesn't matter if it's La Durée or it's Joe Schmo down the street. They're the same. You don't know. You could not tell them apart who made what.
Yeah.
They're all salted caramel or vanilla or rose. So if someone didn't know what a macaroon was, they knew the flavor. And especially with the men. The women were on board for the macaroons. But the men, they were like, what is this overpriced foo-foo dessert?
Right.
Ooh, but I love red velvet.
Yes.
And so I would hook, line, and sink them. And that's how I get them. And because of social media, it started to grow because people saw the photos and it started to spread. And then I was doing local New York City delivery when I started my website. So someone would order and I would spend more money on the cab, delivering it to them by myself than I would making, I didn't even know what my costs were at the time. And then as we grew and I started getting demand from people being like, do you ship? I had to figure out logistics of shipping. So I had a childhood friend who, my neighbor, he was in textiles. He made clothing in China. He helped me figure out my packaging. And then I got UPS rates. And then I bid them against FedEx. And then I would try to get better rates. And as you grow day by day, you start to learn the ins and outs of business. Then I had to hire my first person. They're stepping stones, and it's a learning, it's a process. And every day learning something different, whether I have 2 employees or I have 140. You're learning every day. And if you're not learning, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So it's the very important parts of the process.
I mean, throughout that process, were there points where you were just like, this is just not going to happen? Were there any points where you're about on the edge of failure?
1,000%. There's a few times, sure. We had our first kitchen. So I started in a test kitchen. It was a little incubator kitchen that my mom helped me find. And as we grew, we took on more and more space. Eventually, we took on the whole building. So at that point, I had about 15 employees, and we took over the whole building. And we were just about to go to holiday, and I was very pregnant with my first daughter, Lenny. And we got kicked out of the building. And we outgrew it anyway. So in the end, you look back, and things always happen for a reason. And it was the best thing that ever happened to us. But at the time, it was traumatic. I had to move a whole facility with all of people, and because it was an incubator kitchen, everything was there. They had the ovens, they had the freezers. I had to buy the ingredients and anything else that I needed, extra rolling racks. But now in my facility, I have 5 walk-in ovens and I have, 10 walk-in freezers. But then I didn't have anything, so I had to buy everything. And I had to do it in the middle of holiday, which is your busiest time. And I was really pregnant. And so that was one of those things where I was like, how am I going to do this? And figure it out.
Yeah, I'm going to pivot a little bit here because you say facilities, and you and I have both been to the MOWI Salmon facilities in Miami.
Sure.
We're going to talk a little bit about that because, after all, it's Decoding Seafood by MOWI.
That's true.
They invited you to Miami, and we'll try to figure out a way how we can get salmon into your bakery here eventually. Yes, right.
I'm already going.
Your crazy genius brain of yours. Yeah. When you walked in there and you saw the logistics and how do you find the comparisons between what you're running and what they're running? I mean, it's overwhelming when you first walk in there.
It is. I wouldn't call it overwhelming. I would call it exhilarating. Yeah. I mean, it's truly so remarkable. And
just to give folks out there who don't know how MOWI works, I mean, they literally fly the fish, the salmon, from the northern Atlantic waters or Chile, the
So
cold Atlantic waters.
Yeah.
They fly it from there directly into Miami.
Yep.
They truck it straight into the facility. They've already processed it. The only thing they have to do, I think they're on fillets. And the only thing they have to do when they get to the Miami facility is remove the bone. The deboning machine? How about that?
Crazy.
Can you tell people what that is?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't even know where to begin. The facility is just gorgeous. It's impeccable, and it reminds me so much of ours in the sense that we have a lot of the same. Listen, machinery looks the same. It's all stainless steel. They have the highest level of, SQF, of food safety, and we obviously try to do the same thing. So it was really cool to see those similarities. But the deboning machine, it's just wild. And by the way, wish I had that. Now I don't need to because I get MOWI. But when I would, do my own fish, I'd have to take the bones out. What a pain in the ass.
Oh my
It's
God,
the most
that's
amazing
the worst.
machine ever.
My son asked me to this day, my 14-year-old asked me, are there bones in salmon? And I'm like, yes. It's
Yes,
because
I take them out for you. You're welcome.
Well, MOWI takes them out for us.
MOWI
but,
takes them out for
oh
us.
my God, it's just this machine that does it. And then after it does it, for quality check, they put their hand through it and they see if there's any extra bones that the machine didn't take it out. But it's a crazy facility. And then they cut it into the portions that you want. Yep. They trim it. But what I really loved is the kind of sustainability aspect of all this. Not just the way they are farm raising with their farms up north. It's a lot of it is happening in that facility. Nothing goes to waste in that facility. Nothing goes to waste.
Correct.
And when you receive that salmon, to think that in a matter of days, like 2 or 3 days,
the whole thing happened within a matter of days.
It was never frozen.
Right.
It goes into that facility. It gets skin packed, which is another crazy
Which was
technology.
very cool to see.
And then into your supermarket. And so when you see it in your stores, the MOWI salmon, it's like it was as fresh as you can get it.
It's the freshest that you can get. I don't even think that it's as fresh as if you get it. There's a stigma. You need wild. You need to get it from the fish store. I also thought that until I was properly educated throughout this whole MOWI experience. But not all fish is raised equal, and you need to have traceability, accountability. It has to be sustainable, and MOWI has all of those things. And I feel safe knowing that I'm getting great product. And it's also great for the environment. And that's not something that you can say from other companies out there.
No, and they have third-party verifications for their sustainability, ASC, MSC, BAP. If you look at those stamps, those aren't, they didn't just put those stamps on it.
You can't just use those stamps. You have to earn those stamps, and they have all the steps. Right. It was incredible.
And speaking of sustainability, so do you see any parallels between what they're doing in terms of sustainability and anything that you do? Because we live in a world of plastics today. Mm-hmm. We live in a world of food waste. Anything you're replicating from what you saw at the MOWI facility?
I mean, we were trying to do practices as best we can. Obviously, you try to eliminate as much plastic as you can. You try to be as green as you can. In terms of food waste, we try to repurpose what we can. So, for example, the Mookie was born because we had extra macaroons and I didn't want to waste them, so we put them inside a cookie. Then they became so popular we had to produce macaroons just to keep up with the Mookie demand. For us, because it's a baked good and we're not skin packing and we're not shipping the same way that MOWI is, if we have anything left over, we obviously donate it, and we do a lot with food banks and things like that. But I think just best practices, it's important to stay current and to do the best that you can just to make sure that you're doing it right. Yeah. And they definitely do. And it's just so impressive when you go over there. And you also see the way that they run their facility. You walk in, and when I had told people that I was going to the facility, they were like, the first thing that everyone says is, does it smell? And there is no smell. I mean, fish isn't supposed to be fishy. Fresh fish should not smell.
Right.
And it was pristine, and it was fun, and everyone there was so lovely, and you get to walk around and you get to see them de-skinning, deboning, portioning. You see it from start to finish, and I loved, my favorite part was I loved the monitors they had on the walls where they can track the KPIs and they can see how each line is working to make sure that it's being as efficient as possible. We try to do that, obviously, day to day. However, I've never automated it where you actually have monitors that are up on the wall and you're able to track everything. I mean, they have it down to a science.
You're a little jealous there, weren't you?
I really was.
Yeah,
I was honestly like, you know what, I might need
I
might need the secret sauce because I'm going to have to do it for my team. It was really the thought that they've put into everything. Just from behind the scenes to every step of the way in that process was just so impressive to me because no stone has gone unturned. Is that unturned?
Yeah.
Flipped. No stone has gone unturned.
Unturned, right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you want that secret sauce, and maybe they're willing to share it with you.
Maybe
if perhaps
I
create some sort of like savory, not dessert, but perhaps some sort of way of. So why not go into the savory route and bring in like MOWI Salmon into your facility? How would that work for you?
So, it's something that we've definitely had a couple conversations about, and my wheels are spinning, and I think there's going to be a lot of taste testing that has to happen.
Yeah,
so obviously you'll need to be a part of it.
Of course.
But if I were to think about some things that I could do with their salmon, obviously a smoked salmon cheesecake. It does not seem to be something that would be someone's first thought. Like when they think about salmon, people don't really think about dessert. They think savory. However, it would be delicious, and I've already maybe started to dabble around with it.
Yeah, because why not? You make a smoked salmon. You make a smoked salmon tart, and there's cheese.
There's a quiche.
Cream
Think
cheese in
about
there, right?
quiche, exactly.
And tarts, and you can certainly do that.
Yeah.
But definitely on a savory side, we're not speaking sweet.
It's a nice savory sweet, like a salty sweet, savory sweet. It's a nice marrying blend, and then also you could do like a candied salmon, like a candied smoked salmon, and if you have that, you could eat it by itself as jerky, but you can use it as a topping on some other things. So I'm playing around.
Yeah, candied salmon.
I'm onto
good.
something.
Yeah, I love candied salmon. And now, of course, I know we'll talk in the next episode about the duck trap facility, but they have their hot honey smoked salmon too, which is out of this world too. Yeah. So why not sweet, savory?
I mean, it's a win-win.
And good kind of fat in there.
It's a win-win.
It works out pretty well. The kids come home from school. You have to cook with salmon. You have MOWI salmon in front of you. What are you cooking?
Well, I have to say that the kids love when my delivery comes because it's like an unboxing, right? So the package comes, we don't even have to go to the store. They like to open it up, and I like to get all the different types. The smoked salmon is my favorite, and then I love the filet that has the round of butter on it. Oh, yeah. It's just fun, so they love it. So we like to receive the box together, so I wait for them to open it, okay? Next, it's all fresh, so we put what we're not going to cook in the freezer, and then we keep our fillets for that night or whatever we're going to cook in the next day or two. Next, the kids will maybe come out in the garden with me. So I have a garden. I like to get them involved. We like to pick fresh herbs. I find that if they are involved in the cooking process, they're more excited to eat it. That's how I got them into salmon and seafood in the first place. So they just love to be with me in the kitchen, and we're doing things, and it's the fine motor skills, and now they have knife skills, and they have their own kid knives, but they have knife skills, and we'll do it together. But it changes every time. And I'll let them do a mystery ingredient. We'll get fun, we'll get creative with it. I mean, you make amazing recipes all the time. How do you come up with your recipes?
I mean, it's kind of like you. I think of the flavors I grew up with, or the flavors that I like, and then I kind of just say, hey, how can I incorporate it with MOWI Salmon? Honestly, like the big thing in our house is real, genuine Mexican tacos, for example.
Oh, Taco Tuesday.
So, but I do salmon
for Taco
tacos.
Tuesday. It's so great.
I'm literally developing a recipe for Mexican taco style salmon.
Great.
And people don't know that you can slice salmon into thin slices, pop it in the air fryer, and then put whatever you put on tacos on the sides, so people make their own freaking tacos.
You need to be able to make your own tacos. That's such a great idea, and I've actually never done Taco Tuesday with salmon.
Yes.
And now I'm going to do it.
But you know what I'm also making is a Greek style, like gyro.
In the,
with salmon itself.
So
tzatziki is there. I have the onions,
so
the this, the that. It's all set up there with the cucumbers. And then all you do is take the flatbread, put a little tzatziki,
well, the
salmon, and then load it up.
Salmon is so fresh that you can really make it any type of cuisine. Like you can have your Greek, you can have your Mexican, you can really do teriyaki skewers, you can do anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so dinner every night could be whatever we're feeling and what we have in the pantry and what they hunt for in the garden.
And I noticed that you're showcasing a lot of your food and a lot of your life on your 2 social media platforms. Yeah. Where do people follow you if they haven't already?
So Dana's Bakery for all the bakery goods, but then if you want to see the everyday life of me, it's at Dana Pollack is my personal handle, and on there I do a lot of savory cooking. So I do a lot of baking, it's a lot of kid, it's a lot of everything. got to put it all out there, because then you're authentic and people really see what you're about, and you'll find people who have the same like interests as you. And if you like the content I'm putting out, then you're going to follow, and then we have a thing. Yes. Right? And if you don't, then that might not be for you, and that's okay. But it's all the personal is a wide variety of things. I could have my red light therapy mask on one night, and then in the morning we're making our coffee together, and then we're cooking dinner, we're doing some MOWI salmon, and then I'm doing carpool for the kids, or I show a lot of behind the scenes at work. Yeah. So it really is a 360 of mom life, entrepreneur life. Yeah. The juggle is real, and it's all there, and it's a lot of fun.
How many arms do you have again? Remind me.
I don't know. I can't find them all. They're everywhere.
Yeah, because that's insane. Like you can't possibly do all of it, but you are actually doing all of it.
Yeah, it's great.
Are you ever going to take a break? Are you going to ever go on vacation? Like, what is your break like? I mean, if you don't want to cook, you don't want to manage, you don't want to be on social media, like, what does that even look like?
That's a good question. I need to think about that for a second. What is a break? I honestly really do love what I do. Like I love life. Like I wake up in the morning, I'm excited to make my coffee, and I think as I love what I do every day, I love going to work, and I love creating, and I love my partnerships. Like how great my partnership with MOWI. Like in what world would you think that a bakery owner who does all these other things would partner with a great company like MOWI, who's all about salmon? But it just makes sense because it's something that's such a part of my life. And so I think that when you kind of build your life around your passions, and you like truly enjoy what you do, it doesn't really feel like work. And I'm like the busiest person that I know, and my Instagram stories are draining. You're like, everyone says, do you sleep? Do you ever sleep? And I do. Get 7 to 8 hours a night, but I'm up early, and I'm going, and I'm boxing in the morning, and then I'm at work, and then I'm doing whatever. Yeah. And it's just, you just do it.
And you're a parent between all this too?
Yeah.
Because that's another full-time job.
Well, they're my number one most important job. Yeah. But they're involved in my life. So it's they're with me every step of the way.
I'm coming to your place tonight for dinner. What are you making me?
I might have to make you those tacos, those salmon tacos.
Those are my tacos.
I think we could do it together. I think that we should have like a big fam dinner. Sure. We could do it in the barbecue outside.
Man, there's nothing like really having... We entertain every weekend, and it gets a little wild, but there's nothing like having your guests build their own foods versus like, here's where you're eating like a restaurant and that's it. No, building your own food. So lettuce wraps, tacos.
Yes, everything.
Any cuisine that is more family style.
But I love having a friend who can cook, because then we can do it together. It's nice to have people come over, but like you obviously are a genius in the kitchen, so we would have so much fun together.
I would love that.
And we could just create, and everyone would just sit back and relax, and I'll have them do the dishes.
Oh my God! Wow, I have to come to your house. Someone does the dishes.
I know. Adam, my husband's great. He's very helpful that way.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous.
He's good like that. He's super helpful. So I think it's on.
Let's do it.
6 p.m.
And I'm looking at your cookbook here. This is the first one. It's called Dana's Bakery. The second one, what is the second one called? The newer one?
My second cookbook is coming out October 21st. Yeah. And it's called Bake It Gluten-Free.
Okay.
The whole cookbook is gluten-free. This one is not. The first cookbook, I was inspired by our most popular flavor profiles at Dana's Bakery. So there's a red velvet chapter, s'mores chapter.
I mean, I want to eat this book, like literally eat this book.
It's yours. You can have it. You can do whatever you want with it. We have sourdough, we have croissants, we have bread, we have bagels, we have cakes, cupcakes, ice cream, you name it, it's in there, and every recipe is amazing.
Well, I'm noticing that you're getting a lot of like childhood flavors in there. You said there Rice Krispie treats, s'mores is the big one, and the best photo I see.
You've been drooling over that.
But you are actually capturing kind of a good balance here with incorporating it into cheesecake. That's why it looked good to me at this point. But
you also, for me, I had an online bakery. I have not had a brick and mortar. I've had pop-ups, and now over the past 13 years, I've had some locations, but our bread and butter is online. So when you sell online, you have to sell with your eyeballs, because the whole point of a bakery is you walk in and you can smell it. So you smell it, you buy with your nose, you're buying with your senses. When you are buying online, and now everyone shops online, but over a decade ago when Dana's Bakery launched, we were the first online bakery. We were exclusive. We only shipped online, and people didn't understand the concept. They said, well, I don't understand. Where's your store? COVID happened. Everyone had to figure out how to ship online, but we had been doing it since day one. So I learned from the very beginning that it has to look good in order for people to buy it. The user experience has to be perfect and it has to taste good once they get it. And if you have those 3 things, you will have a repeat customer for life.
That is the biggest problem that I find buying anything online for food-wise, because it looks extraordinary, but when it arrives, it's sad or it doesn't taste it. Yeah. So you have to have a good balance between, obviously, the looks is fine, okay?
Sure.
But when it's the shipping is going to be important. And then
the quality of the product
by
has
the
to
time
be
it gets to you.
correct.
If I ordered from yours or any other bakery and I tasted and I said, this is horrible, anything you come up with after that, I will not be ordering again.
Right.
I will not.
You have one chance.
That's it. I have one chance.
chance.
And I've yet to taste your baked goods, so
We have to fix that immediately.
I have to fix that. And also,
I think you're in the right place.
I'm going to give you one chance. That's it.
One chance. No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Well, we're going to interview you again for your visit at Duck Trap Facilities in Belfast, Maine. So we'll talk about that. This was fantastic. I want to still get deeper into how you came about putting this all together, and we'll do that for the next episode. But for now, it's what a pleasure. I can't wait to tour the facility, taste some of the goodies, and we'll be back for the next episode. So stick around, guys. Thank you for being here with us on Decoding Seafood by MOWI. Dana Pollack, again, Dana's Bakery. What a treat to be here with you. And if you like this podcast, please subscribe to us wherever you subscribe to podcasts. It's called Decoding Seafood by MOWI. I'm your host, Chef George Duran. Until next time.